G'day and welcome to Insights and Storytellings with me, Moon Willow. Thank you very much for joining me and contributing your energies to these stories. I really do appreciate it. I have noticed recently, sort of energetically, that there seems to be the two levels still playing out quite considerably. So on the one hand, it continues to feel very oppressive. And I don't know about anybody else, but I'm getting more than a little frustrated about that. I would like sort of some level of normality, I suppose, to get back into our world. But on the other hand, I am noticing that it is easier sometimes to be more present, and the higher vibrations seem to sort of be playing more. And the bits that I've been really enjoying recently over the past few days is just enjoying watching the play of light on the river, and sort of really connecting with the birds recently. I had the absolute privilege this morning of I think it was yesterday morning, it doesn't really matter, I guess, of seeing some beautiful goldfinches sort of playing in my tree in the front garden, and they're the most delightful birds to watch. And then last night there was snow, and normally I don't actually like snow, but I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed being outside when the snow was coming down, and then happened to come across a dog walker, and that was really beautiful, being able just to converse with another human being, without it being about the current situation. It was just really quite enjoyable. And then having sort of 2 or 3 foxes in the distance and talking about the local foxes as well. So it just felt truly normal. And I just really loved that. So I'm looking for more of those flow moments, and being able just to talk with people about things that aren't the oppressive things, but actually the magical things of nature, and how we can actually nurture the nature locally to us, which was really lovely. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure why I shared that. It just felt appropriate. So on that note, I'm going to see which crystal comes out. Oh, and I will apologise for the last one that I uploaded. I'm aware that the image stopped again, but I believe the dialogue continued. It just felt important to put it out, so I do hope those of you who have watched it did get something from it. And I don't know what will happen with this one. We'll just see how it goes. So anyway, so we've got rose quartz tonight, and that's really around learning how to love and appreciate ourselves, and really linking into the fact that we are worthy, that we're contributing quite a lot in regards to our energy to forwarding our way through what's going off at the moment, but also looking at sort of really merging in with ourselves, recognizing what it is our heart desires and how we can actually set about achieving that, and really continuing to look at all aspects of ourselves with compassion and love, and really connecting to the world around us, and noticing how much love comes back to us from sources that we wouldn't necessarily consider. And for me, is around the birds and the foxes, and just having that human contact from time to time. So that's really that loving connection with everything that's walking on this planet, really. So I'm going to see which cards come through to continue this story. So the three cards are Letters, the Moon, and the Anchor. So Letters is around information yet to come in. So we've moved through the recent full moon and its new moon in the next couple of days. And it's, for me, it's, the moon itself is, for all that it's really significant to me, I suppose I don't really have a true understanding of it. But as I connect to it, I feel that in the dark moon, it's looking sort of also at our shadow side and really looking at ourselves, warts and all, and how do we love ourselves in that. I do feel from the letters that the shift of energy from the full moon, and as things continue to come to light, that information is coming in, and the information that comes in can give us a bit of a clue as to what we can ask for in the new moon to take us onto that next step, onto that next level. It's information. It's information that may be sitting in front of us, may be staring at us that we haven't noticed, but by actually entering into our heart space and really acknowledging what makes our heart sing, what our heart desire is, that we may end up noticing that more of it actually exists in our life than we perhaps think it does. And that for me is where the next card, the moon, comes in. It's learning the cycles of the moon on one level, but also using the moon's rays to really discern what's underlying, having a look at the aspects of ourselves that we may still resent or have a problem with, and learning how to fully embrace that. Notice how that gives us energy to actually move into the space that we want to go into, because it's without the information of what we feel uncomfortable with or frustrated over, we could end up just going through our lives numbly without getting resentful, without changing. Understanding the resentments, understanding our fears, understanding our concerns can actually give us more information, and how we can then change it so that we don't have those aspects there, that we can actually work out how to dream a new life, how to really notice what it is that makes our hearts and our souls sing, so that we can actually create more of that in our lives, but notice how much already exists in them. So that brings me on to the last card, which is the Anchor. And it's anchoring into it. It's anchoring into ourselves, anchoring into our heart space, noticing what joy actually is there and present. And as I say, how we can actually create more of that, how we can actually create more of those synchronistic moments. Yeah. So, and also anchoring into earth. anchoring into the ground underneath our feet. And really, in everything that we're looking at, really utilizing the compassionate energy of the rose quartz, that loving, gentle energy, and making sure that noticing what our thought processes are, etc., and ensuring that they're not hurtful, that they may be critical, but just really take a step back from them. Don't sort of don't embrace them, don't get lost in them, but actually use it to be able to move into a more loving space for yourself, for ourselves. This feels like a really short one tonight, and I think that's okay. So it is very much for me tonight, it's very much learning how to love ourselves, warts and all. Being mindful that we haven't got all the information in yet, so that might be why we're in a holding pattern at the moment, that we don't feel like we can progress forward, that this isolation or staying put has felt like it's been going on forever, that can actually help create the oppressive feeling. But actually being present, being fully present, will enable us to notice when this information is coming through. Actually seeing the information clearly for what it is without any more dramas, I guess. And unmasking our hearts as well, so that we can dare to dream the biggest dreams. The smaller ones are worthwhile, they are useful, but it's the bigger dreams that we can dream really big, and then anchoring into them as well, anchoring into our heart space, anchoring into that compassionate love that we are able to have for ourselves, that we are entitled to have for ourselves, knowing that we are worthy, that bigger things are on the horizon. And then within the new moon energy of letting go the parts that we no longer want, allowing them to be transmuted, and then really having sort of like a bit of a clearer idea as to what it is we want to invite into our lives, but recognizing that we have the power, that we need to anchor into ourselves, anchor into our own potential, that our potential is powerful, it is purposeful, and we have the right to move into the way that we want to move into. So, but remembering that that anchor needs to be inside us and not put onto somebody else. That we are more reliant on ourselves, but it is really appropriate to have other support around us. So I'm hoping this is making sense. I'm hoping this is recording. We will see. And I'm going to see which sound comes through for us today. Thank you very much for joining me. I do appreciate it, and with a bit of luck I will be more on the ball over the next day or two. But take care of yourselves, and I hope that at least some of this is useful. So yeah, so take care, and I hope to see you soon. In the meantime, love you all. Bye for now.